My name is Paul Terry. I was a member of the Canoe Club in the early to mid 90s. I served as captain in the year 93, 94. And in fact, that year was the year that we hosted the first Canoe Club reunion. At that time, it was a 20-year reunion. And it was at the behest and the instigation of Rebecca Lockery and Eleanor Moore mainly, and a bunch of other people. And we had a great time. We sent out letters. We found people. We tracked you down all over the world. We put it together and we ended up going down to Glen Bay, where we used to celebrate Jack's weekend, and had a great weekend together. We had a lovely dinner in the Glen Bay Arms. And in fact, an endearing memory I have of that weekend was leading up to that, Kieran Noel, who was the equipments officer that year, became a master brewer and started brewing vast quantities of extremely dodgy beer and extremely dodgy wine, the kind of stuff that, you know, would make you go blind, but hey, it was free. And so there we were at our very sophisticated dinner in the Glen Bay Arms, but we weren't too thrilled about paying for all of their wine at their prices. So once the first bottle at a table was finished, we were secretly heading out and refilling at the refill station outside the window, and then drinking the extremely hazy and dubious wines brewed by Kieran. To my knowledge, nobody actually did go blind that night, so we'll take that as a win. Ongoing memories of the club were, of course, the deep camaraderie and sense of belonging, frankly, that I think I certainly felt, and I think many others felt as well, born out of the shared misery of, getting off a river late on a November night in the pouring rain, trying to get changed and staying as dry as you can before piling in, 8 people into a car, 4 boats on the roof, off to the local pub to try to warm up a little bit. They were good times. A very specific memory that I have is related to, I suppose, an incident you'd call it. It was in the Aberglassan Gorge in North Wales. A bunch of us headed over there in the winter of 93 or 94 maybe. And 2 of us, in running a particularly challenging part of the river, ended up in hospital. So Kevin Power and I both were knocked unconscious and found floating down the river. In my case, Kevin's brother Dahi saved my life. In fact, he paddled up to me and found me floating face down in the water, got out of his boat and, executed a rescue, getting me to the side of the river and ultimately to hospital. So Dahi, what can I say? Everything I've done since then, I owe to you. There was no coming back except for what you did. So thank you. I owe you my life. Happily, Kevin also made a full recovery and we both carried on paddling. But they were amazing memories, fueled by amazing people. And I can't tell you how proud I am to have been part of that, and how excited I am to be celebrating now with you all the 50-year anniversary. Can't wait for April. See you then.
Hi, my name is Kieran Noel. I joined the Canoe Club in 1990, mainly because of Paul Terry, because he had a bit of sibling rivalry going on with his brother Donal, who was part of the UCC Windsurfing Club. So to counteract that, he said, let's join the Canoe Club. We were 5 very close friends from Prez, myself, Pat, Noel, Humphrey and Paul, and we said, why not? Let's try it out. It's one of the few clubs that I joined, one of the clubs that I remained in. Funny story here now, I remember some of the elders, as I used to call them, this was under the tenure of Orla Sugru, who was a fantastic captain. She had a few of the committee members sort of like cheekily named me Eamon Christmas. Christmas because of my surname being Noel, French for Christmas, and because I was from the Caribbean, so Eamon. So that's where I got my nickname, Eamon Christmas. I joined the Canoe Club, as I said, to partake in a great crack, and our first weekend away was Glen Bay, the Jack's weekend, which I must say was an unbelievable trip, something we look forward to every year, the end of October. And there's quite a few of us from first year who had joined, and after that it steamrolled. I mean, the club got bigger and bigger and bigger every year after that. I think most of us became captains. I was the eternal student. I struggled to try and get through civil engineering. I was there for many, many years. I won't mention how many. But long story short, I think that, like, you know, behind it, it was a big club that I really, really enjoyed. The friendships I made out of it were, you know, for life. And it's, you know, we can see the number of couples that came out of it that have that either got married or they had a long-term relationship out of it. But the main thing is that we are all still very friends at the end of it. I do remember a few close calls. I remember Hugh O'Donnell, prior to me joining, he had we like to call them near-death experiences, but, you know, they're just tricky situations where he got stuck in some serious white water in the upper Bandon. Eventually, he himself thought he was giving up, and it spat him out. I had a very similar experience myself with the upper Bandon also, where the river burst its banks, and I capsized because I held onto a tree stupidly, and the branch caught my helmet under the water. I quickly snapped my helmet and managed to get out of that tricky situation. And I remember another time when Paul Terry was in Shidani, and we were surfing, and he capsized, and a riptide took him out, and he nearly gave up. He was out there for a good while, but we managed to get him back. So all I must say is that as much as we enjoy it, keep your wits about yourself. Enjoy it. That's why we have safety officers, that's why we have a committee, and that's why I'm very happy for anybody who has, you know, continued with the endeavor of canoeing, that you can try and canoe with a club or with at least as many friends as possible, because throw bags and so are very important, and there's a reason why we have a safety officer, and there's a reason why we work together as club, you know. So keep that in mind. It is a club. You know, look after each other, and more importantly, keep your wits about yourself. But I don't want to make this about the dangers of canoeing. There is a serious social life to canoeing, and I'd like to think I was a big part of it. There's a few things that we would have brought into the club, which was a dead ant, which we all know what that is, you know. We introduced that up in UCG, up in Galway for variant varsities. We also introduced something called a vicious circle. If you don't know what it is, I have no problem showing us, and it is great entertainment, and it gets everybody involved, and it's a nice little, you know, end to a session. 50 years is a long time for a club to be existing, and the fact that we've managed to get it through, I'm very proud of everybody who's been involved in the Canoe Club, especially in UCC. We made very good friends through other clubs from Trinity and UCD in Galway, and we're all very good heads, you know. And you know what, it's funny thing that it's one of the sports where we pray for rain, and there's very few sports where you look forward to a bit of rain so we can get out. So Ireland, especially Limerick and Kerry, they're places that we've never would have seen if it wasn't for canoeing. And it's such a beautiful country, but I'm proud to say that I've managed to see bits of this country which nobody else will see unless they're part of the Canoe Club. And with that, I wish us all the best moving forward, and can't wait to see you guys come next year with a big 5-0.
Well, I'm here in Malahide. My name is Corin. I was in UCC Canoe Club 1989 to 95, 5 years, and they were absolutely brilliant. I was asked to go paddling in 1989 in the autumn. I got bronchitis twice over that year, because that brings back one of the biggest memories I have. Standing in the showers in Mardyke, thawing out, getting chilblains. No wetsuits, no cags, just a bit of tarpaulin wrapped around the shoulders. Over the next few years, years we got to see the rivers in West Cork. Kerry had amazing parties in Glenbeigh and made some of the best friends ever that I still have, still paddle with. This is Malahide, a little spinny little hole.
Hi everybody, Brian O'Callaghan here, 1990 to 96 I guess, from UCC. Good times back in the days, very good times. Great memories of paddling, great memories of the people, and yeah, it was a great time in my life, and I'll always treasure all of the great paddling experiences I've had. And you know, as you get older, sometimes you move away from these kind of things, you know, you move away from paddling, other things take importance in your life. But you know, sometimes you just gotta keep it going, gotta keep out there, sitting on the White Nile in Uganda at the moment, paddling away, and yeah, loving it. Talk to you guys later.
My name is Orla Sugru, and I joined the club in 1987 and stayed until about 1992. So my first role probably was vice captain in my third year, and Ashley Nagel was captain at the time, and then I became captain in my final year in college, and I was safety officer, I think, the year after that.
Declan O'Mahony, I was in the club from 1990 to 1995. I was finance officer in 91 and captain in 92, I think. Jacks, Glenbeigh, we used to go down there twice a year. First year was always great, carnage and good fun. And then we used to go down for New Year's as well. They were highlights really.
Perfect. Hi, I'm Niall Leahy. I was in the club from 89 to 93. Well, at least I was in college from 89 to 93. Any role? I didn't have a role in the kayak club as such. Attending meetings was good fun.
So I'm Patrick Nagel. I was in the canoe club from 95 when I started college. My brother and sister had both been in it before me and told me all about it, so I had to join. So yeah, started with Jack's weekend and never looked back.
There's a last weekend.
There's loads.
Share.
Is there still the tradition of stripping the captain at New Year's?
Of course.
No.
I remember being stripped outside the Glenbeigh
They
Hotel.
made that one up
It's just
especially.
But they took my clothes in and left me outside, and they wouldn't let me back into the hotel because I was naked.
Nothing at all.
It was literally snowing outside.
And your point is?
They couldn't let me back in to have another drink.
Were you captain?
Yeah.
When?
97,
Okay.
98, I think. One of my greatest memories of the canoe club is when you're on a river with Dahi, and when he starts to hum or to sing, you know it's time to either sort of tense up and be ready or to get off the river.
He's at his quiet place. And Mick Murphy, there was the same with Mick Murphy, when you used to get out and scope the drops.
Yeah.
And they're graded and you know all have a good idea of what it is, but if you listen to Mick and he started saying, if we make that breakout and if you do that turn, start counting the ifs. Any more than 3 ifs, we're not doing it. If there's more than 3 ifs in the sentence, we're not doing it.
It was just, if you're sitting on the river, you'd like to warm up, it's all good like.
We couldn't afford hot toddies, so we actually used to come across to the Western Star and get hot blackcurrant.
That's right.
And do you remember Dolores and Jerry were
Jerry.
yeah.
One of the ball hops. Then there were two red ball hops we used to do. One was the herons.
Oh yeah.
And the other was so we had, I presume, the trailer I presume was well gone by now. But we used to have a trailer that Dinky used to, what's Dinky's name? Eamon. Dinky used to tow, he wasn't in college with us at all, but he was a friend of the lads, and he used to tow, but the A-frame on the trailer was breaking and he'd get it welded, and so when we used to do the collection 24s, we used to say, we'd come in then to get the announcement of the amount of money that we raised or whatever, and there'd be a bit of, we'd have the committee split, and there'd be a bit of, we're going to do it this year, we have to do it, so it would start, and so basically we'd say, look, we've raised all this money, no one knows exactly how much money we've raised, we're going to siphon off 200 quid out of that to build a new trailer, and like of course, Pastor Clinton will be delighted with the 800 quid that they get, and we'll have a new trailer. And then, but it's a club, so we're going to throw it up to the floor. And we'd have half the committee going for it, saying we must do it, the other half saying no, you can't be doing this, and then you'd split the crowd down the middle. It would take a while for them to warm up, but then you'd always get one or two people who would get really, really annoyed with you over it.
I forgot you were talking about a ball hop. I was about to get annoyed with you.
It still works.
And the other one we used to do was the herons under the bridge.
Oh yeah.
So I came in one year and we passed inside the faces. So again, at the end of the meeting, any other business said, yeah, look, we tried it last year, but we got into the wildlife a couple of years ago to move the nests. They're fucking back again. We were out paddling, Paddleer and myself and Conor were out early in the morning training, in under the bridge. I got fucking swiped. We're shooting them. Let's be done with it. We're shooting.
Brian O'Connor was going to shoot.
Yeah, Brian O'Connor was going to shoot the herons. And again, you do the same thing, the split, and there was a girl named Linda Crow.
No, well, I don't know what her surname is, but she's Linda Green.
Yes. No, Green is her rename. Crow is what we call her.
Oh, right.
Her uncle, I think it was her uncle, had something to do with 96 FM, and she was going to report us all. It was going to be all over the news, and she suggested that we kill a crow. The compromise was we kill a crow and we hang it under the bridge, and that would warn off there. So she became known as Linda Crow. And Linda Green, maybe it was Linda Green, maybe you're Linda Crow. Yeah. So that's what happened. We Conor and Cookie. Kieran Cook was already in the Irish squad. Yeah. Conor was in the junior squad, and Conor started college. And so we got invited. Yeah, and we got invited then. Yeah, so I got invited. I took it seriously. Like I got invited in October. I got invited for trials. The trials were in January, and I got drinking and I got smoking in 1991.
Yes.
In 91. So I got in the Irish. I got in the squad. So then, Jesus, myself and Pat.
Yeah.
At the same time, so all of a sudden you were a serious Irish contender. Like, oh my God, like this was serious. So, but yeah, again, UCC paid for. I know I went to the European Championships and the World Championships. I was on the squad. It was the following year. They were both on Ponds Ford in the UK.
In the UK.
Pat and Conor played in the squad on the team, and Cookie. And so all of a sudden you were taken seriously, but like again, there was no money.
No money. Self-financed.
Yeah, UCC paid for my hoodie, my Irish squad hoodie.
Wow.
That was it. And the ICU paid no money for it. We all paid our own way to get there. So like it was kind of paying for the privilege of it. Yeah. But we did have. We went out. I think it was the Europeans or the Worlds. I can't remember which one. The Worlds, I think it was. There was a competition in Hull. Prior to that, and the same weekend prior, so we went over the whole week. And I remember myself and a lad from Dublin, I had no money, bought a bottle of Blue Label vodka and a slab of beer on the boat.
You had no money, but you had your priorities straight.
That was the funds. That was the drinks for the whole weekend.
Yeah. I thought you were taking your canoeing serious.
We did. That was serious. Normally that'd be a good night or a quiet night out. But it was. There were great times. There were we bought canoeing back. Playing polo then, and all of a sudden it started to get like Phoenix, Evan Roberts made up the floating holes, the goal posts. So now we had our own facilities that we were able to use.
And we used to run it on Tuesdays, and it was a great spectacle down on the Leaf at the Leaf Fields.
It was, yeah. You have people stopping to watch, It used to be great fun.
That'd be great.
We could begin with canoe polo in the 80s.
Oh, sorry.
It used to be on the Friday night of the intervarsities, and we always arrived, I'm trying to think of a respectable word, langers at the pool, and we didn't even get into the water. Or if we got into the water, we shouldn't have been in the water, and we're absolutely useless. And then a few people started playing a bit of canoe polo. I don't know, was it through the Phoenix Club or just
so Conor Walsh, so it was Conor Walsh joined in 1990. I think. And he was already playing canoe polo. Conor actually, he's in Australia. He joined and pretended he couldn't paddle for a month or two. Went to the first year paddling. He was a better paddler than most of us. Went to the first year paddling. And then we were in a swimming. We were in the pool, and he hand rolled.
Just like that.
Just boom, boom. What the hell? He hand rolled, So he'd said that he'd done some basic canoeing with the Scouts. He was a fabulous canoeist, and he used to play with the Irish junior canoe polo team, the underage canoe polo team, himself and Cookie. And then myself and Pat then got involved. You were involved. You were involved. You were the women's team, so sure. So you were there before me.
I was there in 91 and 92. Like UCC used to pay for my, sponsor my trips or my flights for canoe polo. I can't. We would have played against Australia and the UK. I don't remember a lot of that time, but there was a lot. That was the early stages in 1990.
So all of a sudden you had Pat O'Leary, who you know as our Paralympian now, Conor Walsh, myself, and yourself. So we had 4 people in the Irish squad. So all of a sudden we were going, hang on, this InterVarsity's like we could take this seriously. So for the next decade we won polo. We just
you put Hugh up the front too with a fairly strong arm himself.
And Hugh, and then we dragged people in then, to make up. Maurice got involved. Maurice was in the Irish squad for a while. Maurice O'Leary. So then there was 5 of us. So there was loads. So we got really, and Phoenix Canoe Club then started to we put the Phoenix Kayak Club, Polo Club together, the polo team together, and they won the Irish league for 7 years in a row. But so polo was really big, really big. And the year I was captain, we got our first of the aquabats. Remember the precursor to the polo boat, really. The polo was huge, and we had great fun. All of a sudden we were going to the universities winning polo, and then we still didn't give much of a damn about long distance.
No, that was
Sunday was always Galway used to win that. So the whitewater and canoe polo then became the 2 things that we were very interested in. Long distance was never one of our fortes.
Huge water over there. The Indus was just, you're paddling down the wave, then you're paddling up the wave, and you're hoping that what's behind it isn't a big monster hole. Huge, funny water that you need to keep your forward speed, or the whirlpools are just. The Indus was huge, but you had lots of smaller rivers that were coming down out of the valleys, more akin to Irish rivers. And they'd be going up some rivers and say, right, we can go up so far, but don't go any further because you're into tribal areas and the police don't go beyond there anymore. It's no man's land up there. Whoever has the bigger gun wins. We had a great time over there. People, brilliant. Where we went was huge interest because this was just, they didn't have Netflix, they didn't have the internet. There was white guys with fucking funny boys, these boats. Everybody would just descend from nowhere. You'd pull up to the side of the road and there was no one, and then by the time you were changed, there's crowds looking on wondering what's going to happen here. So, great. We got called out by the Pakistani army at one stage, myself and Kuan, to go rescue a guy that was stuck in an island in the middle of the river, and they were delighted with us. We pulled up in the truck, we couldn't even carry a boat, you get that. Then we went, we got your man anyway. I went back and they had loads of tents set up at the side of the road, and they had the tea on the go. And then we went, they'd only brought 4 cups. Somebody was going to get a Balkan that evening. And so the commanding officer and the 2 IC got a cup each. Myself and Kuhn got a cup each, hot tea. Your man who we pulled out of the river, who was soaking and freezing and shivering, not a chance. And Kuhn said he tried to finish his tea quickly to free up the cup, so your man would get the next cup of tea. No way, third in command was next, and there was a whole line of people who were getting tea before your man was. They were getting it. Great times. So but you had the crack. It was who you were with. And that one time, you can't trust your friends. The one time Brian did come up with the slabs of beer, we were like, yes, we're on the piss tonight now. They were all warm after travelling up from Islamabad during the day, and I said, right, we need ice. And I said, right, I'll go downtown there and I get the ice, we'll put it all into the vat and we cool it down. And I said, right, no one's drinking any beer now until I'm back. No. Down I went into the store, and your man had a block of ice this size, and people would come up and they'd say, I'd like so many, I forget the currency in Pakistan, and worth of ice, and he'd chip off so much there, and they'd take it away and they'd take it home, and that would do them whatever. And I went in and there was a big block left, and I said, I'll take that. And he was like, how much? Can I have the whole thing? Well, that would be $15 sold. And he hit it with a sledgehammer a few times, and I went back with a big, it was a big dry bag full of ice. back I got, the lads were already on their second beer.
No need for the ice.
Well, it was nice to have cold ones later on.
I actually went to it with Trinity. And
Later.
yeah, I don't know how I ended up. And Wexford, there was a gang from Wexford there, but big gang. We camped by a lake and went kayaking every day. I do remember the Chateau Giras Gorge.
Yeah.
That was scary. And then the water was actually snow melt, so it was freezing cold. So you had to, if you swam, you were pretty cold. You had to be picked up quickly. Do any of you remember the names of the rivers?
Shalikira's was on the Geel, above the Guardian Angel.
Yes.
And then you had the triple step. Then you had the middle Geel.
Remember you by race course in big and bounce.
Race courses on the Gironde up by Argentière.
Oh, the Gironde. The upper Gironde.
Yeah, the classic run was past the Rabio wave was Saint-Mont run. Coming in Argentière, then you had the Gironde, above that the Gir, and beyond on the Gir. The Gir was a scary one. It's just dum 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 the whole way. By Briançon then you had the Briançon Gorge, it was quite nice. In between you had the Trans Gorge, which was pushy in places, one big walk around. And what's the river above Briançon?
Was there the Claret or no?
Not the Claret, no, the one that goes up, there's the
Were you there a few times?
Gap. Yeah, a couple of times. Oh Jesus, I forgot the name of it, but gorgeous river. Guisan, is it?
Oh, the Guisan, yeah.
Oh, the lovely river. Yeah. Really, it's kind of, if you use Irish rivers now, it was kind of wider than the room, but not much wider, and just kept going down.
Yeah.
And I remember taking a group down. The group was too big, so we split into two. And I took one group, and every time we got to a breakout that was big enough to fit, was it 4 or 5 of us, so I was right, stop. Everybody was breakout, shake out the arms, grand. We go again, go down, stop. But everybody then, when it came to the crux in the middle, where it goes up half a grade, and you're getting eaten by a hole, and you have to come out and roll, they were ready for it, and they all got through. And the gang that came behind just shot through all in one go. They got through the first bits fine, but then they were wrecked by the time they got to the middle, and we were just fishing people out at the bottom of people who had swam down it.
Even as you're describing it, I can feel the adrenaline in my system. Scary stuff.
The Romanche as well was another one.
Oh, that's a dirty one.
Yeah, lots of trees on that, I remember.
Yeah, it's just, it flows down out of this coaly kind of colour shale, and all this dirt in the river is black, and when you get a really dirty river, you can't tell if something is a wave or hole, because it all kind of blends into the same colour, and it's just horrible, and freezing cold.
So in your time, because it was interesting, Orla was talking about there, Jungle Juice. So Jungle Juice must have been created.
I don't know anything.
They went into the old college bar one day, and they were looking for a cocktail mix that they could make a big batch of. And the barman said something like, right, there was 3 of them there. I think you might have been with them again, I'm not sure. And the barman said, right, each throw 5 up there. And he made up 3 different concoctions that they could try, and Jungle Juice was the winner.
Do you think he was making them up on the spot, or
the barman he had a few kind of things that he kind of in the back of his head, and
So what's in it?
Oh, that's a secret.
That's how I tried. Have you tasted it?
No, I was referred to the Jungle Juice as Kieran again doing the home brew. He was trying to do beer, and he was doing beer and wine, and he brought down just vats of them. Down the bus, down to Jack's.
Oh yeah. Find a vessel to take the beer to drink of it. And Mickey McNamara was, I remember him finding a frying pan, dirty frying pan, and like drinking
out of the frying pan,
Needs must.